Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Thank you to everyone for joining us for this session. So on behalf of the Regional Center for Mapping of Resources for Development, it is my pleasure to welcome you to this launch session. I believe we will be getting more participants to join as we proceed, but I think we have a good number to proceed. So today we are launching this interesting training on transforming maps into stories and data into decisions, where you will learn a lot in terms of coming up with web maps, story maps, dashboards, and then now the GeoHex application for conservation action. So my name is Jacqueline Karimi. I'm from RCMRD. And for today, I'll be your moderator for this session. Just to mention a few things, so we were able to attract over 3,100 registrations. These are people representing universities, governments, intergovernmental organizations. We have research institutions, we have the private sector, we have our development partners as well. And even more exciting is the fact that we have participants from different countries in our globe. We have, of course, East Africa is well represented, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Zimbabwe, we have Ghana, we have India, Ethiopia, South Africa, Nigeria. And if there's any country I've not mentioned, please feel part of us. Yes. So this interesting turnout is just rubber stamping the fact that the global community at large is interested in learning this technology of interpreting maps, not just having maps, but being able to interpret them, being able to communicate our different stories using these maps and different technologies of GIS that it offers. So hopefully we will get to learn more about it. And after this training, we will all be proud specialists and experts in coming up with story maps and also dashboards, as well as the GeoHex. Again, something to note, we had asked you what you're more excited to learn about. And interestingly, about 82% of people are interested in the story maps. Again, another large number is interested in the dashboards, and again, the GeoHex. So I believe this is a good impression that this training will be impactful to all of you. So a few housekeeping rules before we begin. One, kindly keep your microphone off unless you're invited to speak, which is probably later on in the presentation. Then at the moment, feel free to introduce yourself, your name, the country of origin, and your organization as well. In case you have any questions, there's the Q&A section. Please post your sections there. We have several people, several of my colleagues, they'll be answering the questions as we proceed. In case you have, for your name and introductions, kindly post it on the chat. And we look forward to having everyone participate, and please feel welcome. So on to our first presentation. First of all, we need to talk briefly about RCMRD as an organization. And you will get to learn who we are, what we are doing, and then in case you get any questions, again, please post it. So our first presentation will be by Dennis, who will officially give us an overview of RCMRD and its role in supporting geospatial technologies, as well as our various mandates within the Eastern and Southern Africa region and beyond. So I'll welcome Dennis to proceed. Welcome, Dennis.
Thank you, Jacqueline. And I'm sure she has done a great job to introduce for us this launch day. And we appreciate her so much for that. As she has mentioned, my name is Dennis Mongera. I am a geospatial systems developer here at RCMRD. And we'll be switching gears to now learn more about our institution and what we do here I know we tell this story every time, but we're proud of ourselves and we get to do it every single time we have an opportunity. So for our newcomers, this is RCMRD, and yeah, let's get into it. So RCMRD is the Regional Center for Mapping and of Resources for Development, and we are based in Nairobi, Kenya, as our headquarters. It's an intergovernmental organization that was started off in 1975 by the founding members. So we have 20 member states that we work with across the Eastern and Southern Africa region. And we have about 3 non-contracting members who are also part of us. They are part of the big family, but we enjoy having all of them as our member states. We get to serve them, we get to work with them, and just to be part of the journey of improving the geospatial technologies in our continent. So the RCMRD came about in 1975, as I said, after 2 organizations that came about and they worked together to form RCMRD. This was the African Union and the United Nations of Economic Commission for Africa. So they came together in 1975 and they were able to come up with an institution that promotes the articulation of GIS technologies across the African continent and more so the Eastern and Southern Africa region. We were able to celebrate our 50th anniversary last year. This is 2025. And it was a big celebration that we invited all our member states to celebrate with us and just to see what we have achieved in the last 50 years. So as part of being the standing organization, our vision is to premier excellence in the provision of geoinformation and allied technologies to sustainable development for our member states and other stakeholders. So this is what drives us, what pushes us to keep promoting more of GIS technologies as we continue to be in existence. And part of what we also do, we also have the core mandates that we also have as an organization. And we are very proud to say that we have a very strong capacity development section that we get to champion. Hence, also having an institution that promotes the learning of geoinformation technologies. This is the RCTI, which is part of us. We champion also another mandate for data and information dissemination. This is where we have geoportals and platforms that get to share information and data with our member states and our stakeholders. They just get to see what we are about and what we are doing as an institution. Another mandate that we have as an organization is the servicing and calibration of mapping equipment. We have a whole engineering section that stands out to help the member states in fixing and improving or calibrating their survey equipments, their mapping equipment. So this is a whole department that exists at RCMRD that is able to champion this across the Eastern and Southern Africa region. Then we also have another mandate that we run is the advisory services, where we get to be in the conversations in geomatics and in the food security region, in the project development, just to be in the very core conversations that are part of the big African continent, most of the Eastern and South African region. Then we also have the project implementation, which exists as a very key mandate for the organization, where we get to see and learn how we implement projects in various sections and various sectors that I'll get to mention in my next slide. So we have projects that run across the center, across the institution, projects cutting across geospatial, geomatics, cutting across natural resources, monitoring and evaluation of natural resources. So we'll get to see all of this in my next slide. And finally, but not least, we also have a mandate in research and development, where we get to do research and be able to be part of the growing community that is doing research and discovering and coming about with innovations. So that is also one of the mandates that we also champion as a center. Now, switching gears slightly, and let me talk about the thematic areas that we as a center get to be get to be part of. These are just but a few of them. We have the first one, which is agriculture and food security. We have these thematic areas that we get to be part of and implement projects in agriculture and food security. We have the climate change and disaster risk reduction is also another thematic area that we get to be involved in. We have the ecosystem. We have the ecosystem and natural resources thematic area that we get to also be a part of. That is including the project that is also um, pushing this course that we are about to launch today, the RCOE project, which is also under the thematic area of for ecosystem management and natural resources. Then we also have another thematic area that we are also under is also the land use and change of land governance and urban development. This has this is profound because we also get to be part of developing land use management systems across our member states. Then we have the cross-cutting initiatives that cut across health, cut across urban development systems. So we are across the board in all these thematic areas, and we are very proud enough to keep doing this and keep improving and even adding more to our portfolio. Now, slightly, let me talk about something that we recently were able to acquire, which is the RCMRD was named as one of the technical scientific cooperation at TSC under the Eastern and Southern Africa region. So we are very proud to be named as one of the TSCs. So being a TSC, what does that mean for us? Let me track it back a bit and bring you back to something we call the CBD. So we became part of the CBD TSC. The CBD is the conventional of biological diversity, where we get to help conserve and conserve our natural resources, our biodiversity, as part of the mandate of the CBD. So we were named as one of the technical support centers, which will help bring this mandate to life, help bring this goal to life, even as we do it. So one of the roles for us being a CBD is to be able to provide the one-stop center, the one-stop service center where we get to provide access to technical scientific knowledge for all our member states. This is also part of we get to provide information, data expertise, and resources as well. So this is key because we get to be the place where our member states get to come to have all these resources and scientific knowledge. We provide the access to them. So another role that we have as a CBD is being able to strengthen capacity in regional and sub-regional national institutions. This is we get to help member states get to do the capacity development in many of the various regions that they are part of. So we get to help them and do joint research, do joint development programs with them. So this also channels and this keeps improving the strength in how we disseminate this information of how to protect our biodiversity across the Eastern and Southern Africa region. Another aspect that we also get to do in the CBD, being as a CBD technical support center, is to mobilize resources targeted for projects and activities across the technical across the technical centers and across having the scientific needs across the member states. So we get to mobilize resources. This is to just to provide the right materials, the right resources, the right empowerment that our member states require when it comes to protection of our biodiversity. So this is key for all the member states because some could be lacking the essential tools, the essential resources that require for the implementation of their the CBD mandate. So it's very key that we sit at the center of that and be able to provide these resources for them. Now, just to mention also, not to forget to mention that as we were named a technical support center, a technical scientific cooperation support center, we get to share this mandate with a few other technical support centers across Africa, and I'll name them as you can see on my screen. We have the COMIFAC, which is as a central part of Africa. It's a Central Africa Forest Commission. We have the CSC, Ecological Monitoring Center. We have ourselves, the RCMRD. Then we have the one based in the Sahara region, which is the OSS, the Sahara and Sahel Observatory. Then we have SANDI, which is based on the South African region, which is the South African National Biodiversity Institute. Now, that is just on the side note of what we're not only just a geospatial center, we also get to explore other areas of our capabilities. And the CBD mandate that we were awarded came about last year, which was the 18th of July. And from my screen, you can see that is Astrid Schumacher. She's the executive at the CBD and the secretariat at which we were awarded the CBD mandate. And that is our Director General, Dr. Emmanuel Nkurunziza. And on the left bit of the screen, you can see the 12 countries that are under our CBD mandate, which we have Comoros, Eswatini, Ethiopia, Kenya, Madagascar, Mauritius, Rwanda, Somalia, South Sudan, Tanzania, Uganda, and Zambia. We applaud Mauritius for joining us. She's our latest baby on the CBD mandate, and we congratulate her for joining the countries that have been covered. Also, just to also add to how we all support our countries, our member states, we get to support them by strengthening biodiversity information systems. We get to help them also develop their NBSAPs, which is the National Biodiversity Strategies and Action Plans. We are proud to say that we have assisted Kenya and Uganda in developing the NBSAPs, and we are very proud to say that we are bridging that data gap for them, and proud enough to keep doing it even for the rest of the member states that we join them. We have support regional collaboration and knowledge sharing. This is through forums. We have workshops that we hold within the center that help us to share knowledge and just have collaborations. We produce policy briefs for our countries that translate to technical evidences into language policymakers that can use, using the language that policymakers can use. So this is also one of the things that we do as a center, and as we are very proud to say that we have developed a couple of policy briefs that you can find in most of our resources. You can find them on our Geo portal. Then we also get to build capacities for our countries. And this is an example of one of them. When we are doing this course, we are launching this course whereby we get to promote capacity development within our countries. And as we launch this course, you are part of how we are supporting our countries. My colleague Jackie has mentioned that people are coming from joining from different countries, and it's amazing that we've been able to attract all these people from different countries. So feel part of the impact that we are doing across the Eastern and Southern Africa region, as well as Africa. Something else I'd like to also mention is we have been able to be awarded a special achievement in GIS award that I know one of my colleagues will mention later in one of the presentations that we have. So we awarded a special achievement in GIS. We awarded it in July, the 15th, by the Esri company, which is I would say the grandfather or the pioneer of GIS technologies. So this is a proud moment for us as a center as well, to know that we've been recognized by the Esri as we are continuing to build Africa's conservation using GIS. So even as also we launch this course, also it's part of how we are building Africa. It's using conservation. We are going to learn how to develop story maps, web maps that translate into our conservation across Africa and across Eastern and Southern Africa. So looking ahead, what we have set in front of us or before us as we progress with our launch, we have an upcoming X program that will be the Eastern African that will be held for the Eastern African region, will be held at RCMRD here. This will be in September, so we look forward to having this being held here at the center. We also have an upcoming publication, and that is called the BOESA, which I would like to mention also. We were able to launch part of the BOESA initiative, which is the BOESA is the biodiversity outlook for Eastern and Southern Africa. So we were able to launch part of it on 31st of July. This is last week. We were able to launch a platform that is looking to see what BOESA is. And even as we move forward, we'll be looking forward to be launching a publication of the same. Then I would also like to mention that we also have an arts and maps competition that we run annually, and it's kicked off this year in May, and we are still getting so the arts and map competition is a competition where we get to also involve our member states in participating in developing maps and developing arts that are that look to target in our conservation aspect or conservation sector. So we want to promote the junior section of the younger generation in our communities, use it to develop maps, to develop arts as well in the conservation aspect. So we target high schools, we target professionals, we target primary schools across our Eastern and Southern Africa region. So we kicked off this competition in May, and we are still taking on registration and submissions of people of the arts and maps pieces that people have done. So this we'll have the submission deadline happening on the 31st of August. So if you have not been able to know this is happening, we'll leave our links below. You can be able to join in and register and be part of the competition as well. There are big prizes to be won. Just to quote, around 16,000 euros to be shared across the winners. Yeah, and I think that will be it from my side. And I would love to say, I'll leave you guys with a quote from Wangari Maathai, who is one of the famous conservationists who passed. She said, "You cannot protect the environment unless you empower people, you inform them, and you help them understand that these resources are their own." Thank you. Back to you, Jackie. And yeah, just what's happening on your side?
Thank you so much, Dennis. And in case he was humble about it, he's among the brilliant minds behind the various tech products with G and the RCOE and even RCMRD at large. That was a very broad and intense overview of what RCMRD is and what we are doing. However, that is not the only thing we do. Please feel free to check out our social media pages. On LinkedIn, you can find us at Regional Center for Mapping of Resources for Development. On YouTube and Instagram, TikTok, all those you will find us. So, as well as the website as well, you'll get to see other projects that we are doing and other initiatives we are doing across the region, not only in Eastern and Southern Africa. I know the most common questions we get when we have such engagements is, I know the person from Haiti, Nigeria will ask, why didn't we see ourselves on the map? Yeah, you might not see yourself on the map, but we also work under various projects in those countries, and that's why you can see even an initiative like this is reaching out to various countries in the region and across the continent. So I'd like to welcome our next presenter, who's Josephat. Josephat will now talk about more specifically on what the RCOE project is, what exactly we are doing, what are some of the impacts that we've been able to achieve, and what's ahead. Welcome, Josephat. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you for the. So my name is Josephat, biologist, SMRD. As you so by now I think you know about RCOE, but not in detail. So what I will do, I'll try to give a brief of what RCOE is and what we've been able to do up to that point. So RCOE is a regional center for excellence for biodiversity forestry. So this training, like my previous presenter said, is sponsored by RCOE, one of the thematic area that is in our science. So this is what we've been doing on. So the RCOE, while we were trying to internalize the project and its objective, we realized one theme was keeping coming up. So one was conserving nature, empowering community. So what you see on the screen is a collation of the different aspects that the RCOE has been doing. And I'll try to take you through some of the selected aspects, but then maybe at the end, we'll be able to see in detail. We'll give you some links where you can see in detail what we've been working on. So when we say the objective of the RCOE is to maybe make the forest, biodiversity, and seascape sustainable and continue providing information to this maybe population. So how we go about that? So you can't do this maybe within our center alone. So we also need to go out and work with other people and see what they are doing and maybe see what the synergy between. So for instance, one of them had a very big conference in Saudi, whereby we also were present to showcase what is it that we are doing on our end, what is it the technology that we are using, trying to come up with management of maybe biodiversity forestry in the Eastern and Northern African region. So this one part that the RCOE was participant and trying to show the world what is it that we are doing on the ground. The other part, like my colleague has said about the word that came in. So the award we got this year started last year. So last year we had products, and then it was recognized or was spotlighted in the SRE conference in the US. So the first step on this was presenting one of the products. So this one, the product, again, we will give you a link on the same, shows the different spatial maps on our regions and the different biodiversity, protected area, indigenous community. So these are some of the things that the RCOE will be able to collect and put together for people to access that information with ease and use it for different activities. Another part is we're saying, apart from staying on the computers, what is it that we can do with other people on the ground? So we collect information and we collect information from the crowd, what the different people, IPLC, youth, women in CBD, trying to come up with a system of trying to come up with a pipeline on how we translate from grassroots to conservation or grassroots to tradition. So this one was a forum we held this year, trying to see what is it that the IPLC, women and youth are doing in terms of biodiversity conservation. Again, we are saying about protecting our ecosystem, and the most common known to the case of protection is about protected areas. Also in the marine, we call them marine protected areas. So then again, we have so many of these items of protected area, but then how do we know these areas effectively protected? So one thing we are doing is trying to conduct pilots to see how effective the different protection types or protection level are able to achieve this. Another one, we also participate in other forums, experts workshop, where we are trying to see the data we're gathering and RCOE, how can they impact maybe different activities that are on going in. The example is the OECM. These are the community-based management area. So the data we get our experts to partake in different workshops and see how this one can be synergized in the planning or the implementation of this section. My colleague talked about art and map, so maybe just a snippet of what has happened. Once you win, either you get to fly to our region or our office, or where our governance of council is holding a meeting to get your present, where you are not able to, a representative of their maybe school, for example, the lower school, a teacher is sent also to come collect their prices. Again, we also participate in conference, both regional and global. So we have a regional workshop or conference on the WIOMSA on marine. So we are part of that. We've been showcasing what is it that we are doing from the RCOE aspect. But then at the same time, from maybe attending this, what is it that can come out of that? So we also propagate policy belief from these meetings or from the data that then we go ahead to even work with countries. So countries can request maybe support in something. So in this, what you are seeing is one of the requests from Mozambique, trying to understand how can they map their budget. So as we was good enough to join the Mozambique, try to come up with a process on how can they collect their data and try to see how that one can be fed with the national grid in terms of commitment, CBD commitment. So among the publications that we're talking about, one of the could be what's portrayed is the map. This is collection of different maps that shows the different aspects that is ongoing within this country that might be in terms of conservation and what can be done in areas that we don't have. So the next publication we are anticipating to come up with is the biodiversity outlook for Eastern and South Africa. So this one, I think by September or October, you have this one on your tables to produce and also see what is it that different people or different countries are happening. So during this period also, we try to see from this, what is it that we can do in terms of innovation. So this training, part of it will be about using an innovation or we be developing the GeoHex. So this one will be discussed further during the training because you get to know or you get to understand how this one came into being. So that's said and done. See, that's why now it becomes easy for maybe global recognition. I think my colleagues preempted that when you do good work, you also get presented with presents. So that's how we came to get an award from SB. The type it was titled Building African Conservation. Thank you very much, and I hope we'll be able to have a very fruitful training when it comes to you.
Thank you so much, Josephat. That was a really interesting presentation. I hope you can now see some of the things. And again, this is just, we could have had 30 slides or 40, but for the interest of time, we just measured on touching on our presentation. As I welcome our next speaker, maybe to mention, I can see people are excited, very excited to start the training already. I can see questions on the platforms to be used. I can see people asking about whether the meeting is being recorded. Yes, it is being recorded, and it will be shared at the end, before the end of the day, for anyone who probably didn't capture something, or for those who are not able to attend, again, because of the difference in time. So our next speaker is also one of our geospatial information systems specialists behind all the technologies we produce under RCOE and RCMRD. Please let's welcome Joseph. Yes, Joseph, the floor is yours.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this session. Thank you, Blackie, for. On this session, we'll be covering the product suites that we have with the ESA. And so far, at least, you have been introduced to some of the products that we provide. So I'll just take you through each in a little bit more detail, and then later we'll be able to demonstrate those products and go on. So mainly we want to see how can maps inspire change, and we're looking at bridging data and creativity and community to drive environmental innovation, evidence-based making. My name is Joseph, and I'm a GIT specialist. So as an overview, we start with data and analytics, the core, and this comes from the Geo portal, which hosts the data sets that we have, and we're able to do analytics and come up with Mapu and the GeoHex. Part of this training that we are conducting, and from there we're able to come up with data-driven insights, which we are able to plan for trainings, come up with policy briefs, and from there we're able to share this knowledge with our community. So our first product that we have on data and insights is the portal. which is a centralized platform where you can access the spatial data set. We have interactive maps, we have knowledge products, and I'm sure by now you have interacted with that portal. And I would like to highlight that during this training, you'll be able to interact more with the platform. Part of the quiz-based assignments will be assigned, you'll be getting this data from the portal. So we have been highlighted, we have the biodiversity outlook, which is the premier regional biodiversity observatory, providing an authoritative evidence-based assessment, status and trends of conservation in Eastern and Southern Africa. We have also published a map book, which we published last year, and also access it on our platform. That is an interactive collection of thematic maps, which allows us to visualize some of the analytics and trends that we have been able to analyze. And through the map book, we are able to turn complex decisions, insightful visuals, better understanding, and communication. We now have the GeoHex, which, again, as I've highlighted, we part of this training. It is a smart mapping and visualization framework that uses hexagonal grid, high resolution environmental data analysis, and you'll be able to interact more and learn more how these GeoHex can be used to communicate information. So we conduct trainings through like this training that you're conducting is part of the knowledge and capacity product that we offer to our community. And these programs help build the capacity of our community members, put them with the relevant skills they need to manage conservation. And of course, the main impact is that we're able to strengthen institutional and community capacity and resilience towards conserving nature. We also produce policy briefs, which you can access through our portal. You can get that access from there. Once you go to our portal, you're able to scripts that you have done so far. We have about 4 of them, and you can be able to read and get more information so that when people are making decisions, they are guided by that policy. And this is able to guide decision makers for sustainable and inclusive governance. We have also come up with a very innovative tool which uses AI to validate world database on protected area data sets. So this targets data contributors that who contribute data towards the protected area database. And through this tool, you're able to upload your data sets and check it against the WDPCA standards, against the schema. The tool is able to score the quality of your data, and from there you're able to pinpoint the gaps that you need to fill before submitting the data. RCMRD assists and supports the countries in preparing these data sets before they are submitted to the world database on protected areas. And this tool allows that process, simplifies the process of the data contributors to submit their data towards target 3. And so it is automated, it is rule-based validation against the WDPCA schema. It has AI incorporated. It's able to analyze your data and score your data. So it gives you a summary that gives you the strengths and weaknesses of the data set that you have uploaded. And basically, we are aiming to help you save time when you are uploading that data to WDPA, to make that validation accessible to all the people who contribute data to WDPA, that is target 3. And of course, through that standardization of validation, we are able to maintain trust and data integrity. And you can access the validator through wdpavalidator.com. So we also have another tool, which is the KMGBF Capacity Needs Assessment Tool, which is a web-based platform designed to help institutions assess, track, and plan for capacity development in support of the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. And this tool enables structured self-assessment across 8 capacity dimensions and 23 biodiversity targets. And that turns the self-assessment into a live readiness dashboard your institution can act on. So it helps countries to track their progress against all the 23 KMGBF biodiversity targets. And you can access this tool through https signer-tools snatool.live as you can see on your screen. Then we have a community platform which you can access through rcoecommunity.rcmrd.org. And this it gives you a platform to collaboratively interact with other researchers, other trainers that are part of this training. And I hope by now some of you or all of you have received an invite to the community. And this is the platform that we shall use to help you interact, exchange knowledge, share the challenges we are having, and we will be able to get back to you through this platform. As has been highlighted before, we have Arts and Map competition, which is ongoing. You can access the map through artsandmap.rcmrd.org. You can also inquire about it through rcoe@rcmrd.org, and we'll be able to give you more information about it. So it aims to create fusion of arts and geography that celebrates the power of visual storytelling, transforming maps into tools for education, awareness, and cultural expression. We also have comic book that targets our younger generation to be able to prepare them towards conservation and create that awareness about conservation. So it's an educational and entertaining series that simplifies the complex environmental and geospatial themes through storytelling. And our input is to break down barriers to environmental knowledge towards the younger generation. We also use multimedia through our social hubs, through videos, through infographics, and through that we're able to communicate environmental science and sustainability in a vibrant and accessible format. And this allows us to inspire action through media that moves, educates, and empowers. We also support sports, and through those initiatives, we are able to unite health, education, and environmental awareness through sports, fostering teamwork, empowerment, and a shared sense of responsibility toward nature. And overall, the outcome that we want to have through all these tools is to increase access to conservation and environmental data, enhance regional collaboration, community empowerment, and policy influence and evidence-based planning. So that brings me to the end of the tools that we have, and I would like to give it back to Jackie. Thank you.
Again, thank you so much, Joseph. I hope you can see now how the theme of this training is coming true. Joseph has talked about all these platforms, the GeoPortal, the WDPCA validator, all those products that we have, and then he has transitioned to the communication bit of it, the StoryMaps. We have the things we're doing on the comic that's now trying to make this information and data and maps easily understood by everyone. So again, from data to decisions, and these decisions have to be made from a point of knowledge, understanding. So this data that we produce has to be in a way that it's easily understood by the people making the decisions, and even for our students and our teachers in the lower schools and higher schools to transfer the same knowledge to our students. So our next presentation is, we are now going deep into what the training is about. That is our presenter, Julius, who is our capacity building expert, and who will be, I think, the dean for this, for this particular course will be your dean. So Julius will talk about what the course is about, the objectives, what he expects from you as a student, and also what the platforms you'll get to use, the practicals and all that. So hopefully you'll be attentive, and please note down your questions because they'll be answered later on. So welcome, Julius.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you can get me. My name is Julius Buyengo. I support capacity building activities at the Regional Center for Mapping of Resources for Development. Kindly allow me to take you through the course outline. so that we get to know what we'll be learning going forward. Looking at the objectives and the thematic areas, of course, keys, we just want to enhance the participants' skills towards the development of web maps. We are talking about story maps, dashboards. Then we are introducing a new technology that helps us to do spatial analysis within our conservation areas. We are calling it GeoHex. And basically, all these, we are trying to push them forward while targeting the three major thematic areas as highlighted by my previous presenters. We're talking about biodiversity, we're talking about forests, and we are looking at also seascapes. So three major ecosystems that we're trying to look into as we push forward these technologies. Of course, the course is structured into two major modules, and at the end of the two modules, we have a challenge, just trying to assess how our participants are going to be using these skills going forward towards pushing forward the conservation agenda. So module one has four major components. It will introduce ArcGIS Online. Then courtesy of ArcGIS Online, we'll be looking at StoryMaps. Then get into dashboards. After dashboards, we'll be talking about crafting story maps going forward. So under introduction to ArcGIS Online, three subcomponents where we'll do a quick introduction of just a quick theory about what is biodiversity conservation and how can we employ geospatial tools. Then we'll introduce you to ArcGIS Online. Of course, it's not new to many of the participants based on the training needs assessment or the assessment that we did earlier that informed the crafting of the course. So introducing ArcGIS Online, then of course, looking at the interface. After that, we'll get into the second session where we'll introduce web maps as one of the platforms applications or platforms that you can use towards sharing the data, sharing information related to mapping. And within web maps, of course, we are talking about sharing interactive maps that different players can use for purposes of getting insights on what is happening on the ground on matters conservation. So some of the components that we'll be looking at will be quick introduction of what web maps are. Of course, we'll do a hands-on on how to create a protected area and protected and conserved area web maps. We'll look at how we can pull data sets from different sources. We'll look at how we can manage our layers within the interface. Then we'll see how we can share our web maps so that different stakeholders can access them for purposes of getting insights. Under session 3, we'll be introducing dashboards, because we are calling them data dashboards. And the key is just ensure that different players are able to use these application for purposes of sharing data and also sharing statistics, visualizations about different conservation projects. So we'll introduce the concepts and principles related to dashboards. We'll look at how to lay out your dashboard. Look at some of the visualization elements that you can integrate with your dashboards, talking about charts, about indicators and gauges, talking about lists, plus other details. We'll also look at how to integrate, of course, maps, looking at how we can integrate other components like filters, map extents, selectors, among others. Then finally, we look at how we can share these our dashboards with different players within the conservation industry. Under story maps, of course, just trying to communicate using communicating conservation-related information, data, analytics in form of stories. And of course, we'll be integrating different components ranging from maps, pictures, graphs, among other things, including videos for purposes of making sure that participants can quickly understand what is happening on the ground through crafted stories. So within this session, we'll introduce the fundamentals of storytelling. First, talk about the StoryMaps interface. Then see how we can integrate different multimedia components, how to lay out your narratives by integrating sidecars, guided maps, among other things. Then at the end, we'll see how you can share your stories with different partners, of course, within the industry. Under module 2, we have 4 sessions. Because in module 2, we're talking about transforming data into decisions. We'll have an introductory session where we'll be introducing GeoHex technology, how we can use GeoHex as an analytic tool for purposes of delivering insights. So we'll introduce the, of course, GeoHex is based on the hexagonal gridding, and we'll look at what is it and including its advantages. Why not use the traditional methods of analysis, and why should we get into GeoHex? So we'll try to learn that, then dive into the workflows, the steps that step-by-step activities that you do in order to develop your workflow. Under the second session, we'll look at techniques for that you can deploy for purposes of summarizing your complex ecological data. And we are proposing to look at the species occurrence, protected areas coverage, among others, as will be proposed by the participants. I will also look at hotspot analysis within our conservation areas, within our protected areas, just try to understand what is happening on the ground by deploying GeoHex for purposes of analyzing our hotspots. Of course, trying to look at areas where there are gaps. Of course, we are looking at hotspot areas, then we're looking at areas where we can easily inform decisions related to how we can fill in the gaps related to conservation. Then we'll wind up this by looking at insights and how we can interpret these towards informing the decisions, informing policy going forward. Then the final output that we'd want our participants to participate in is the GeoHex challenge. And this challenge is being put forward just to try to assess the uptake of the apps, the applications, and the programs that would have put forward to our different participants as they dive into the conservation agenda. So we'd like to test the skills that the participants would have acquired and how they would apply them in the conservation industry. And keys, we are looking at target 3, how we can contribute towards conserving 30% of our landscapes, 30% of our seascapes by the year 2030. So it's a challenge where we would task the participants to come up with ideas on how they could deploy GeoHex challenge, how they could deploy the web maps, deploy story maps, dashboards towards conservation. So we will task participants to develop their own ideas in form of projects, which they will share with us for purposes of assessment. Then after this, we are going to be able to do an analysis where we'll award the best performing projects going forward. Of course, within this course, we'll be sharing, or will be, for those who will do well, we will be sharing, we'll be giving certificates for each module, and also do a badge for each of the modules. So looking forward, we are looking into each participant getting 3 certificates, one for module 1, second one for module 2, then the third certificate will be for the GeoHex challenge. And the 3 certificates will come along with the badges just to recognize your excellence in the application of geoinformation systems or geoinformation applications in conservation. Thank you very much. Back to Jackie.
Again, thank you so much, Julius. I believe we can now see what is expected of us, the objectives, what the course exactly entails, and what the course exactly entails. And interestingly, we will find a way of how to, probably as we close the course, to maybe feature some of the most interesting story maps during the course of the training. So our next presenter will be Ida, who will be taking us through the different platforms that we're going to be using throughout this training. Yes, so welcome, Ida. Yes, the floor is yours. Welcome, Ida. Take us through.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ida, and I'm a Geospatial Systems developer here at RCMRD, and I'll be taking you through the tools that we'll be using throughout this course. So first, the main tool that we'll be using will be the online learning platform. We have already loaded all of you participants who signed up. So you should have received an email. I'm going to show you the email that you should have received. Please check in your spam folder as well if you haven't received it. So first, for completely new users, you will have received an email to welcome you aboard the online learning platform. So the email should look like this. Here should be your email. Here should be your username. And then here is the password, which you'll be prompted to change once you sign in for the first time. And for returning users, you should also receive an email just alerting you that you have now been enrolled to the course. So the email looks something like this. And it says, welcome to transforming maps into stories and data into decisions. And this is how it looks like. And it just pretty much redirects you to the online platform where you can now see the course. So I'm going to share with you the online platform itself. Once you have logged in and you have set up everything, you will come here to the online platform, and this is the URL. Everything will be shared and added to the chat in case you want to refer to anything. This is how it looks like, and in your courses, you should see that you're a member of the course. So once you enter the course, it is not open since it is starting on Monday, and today is just the launch, but you will see an overview of what the course is able to offer. So we'll be using other platforms as well. So every day we will have a live session from 11 a.m. and we will be using a Teams link, which will be shared here on the resources tab inside the course. On Monday, we'll be able to see the live session there. And then also for the data sets, for making the GeoHex challenge and data sets using the course, we will be able to use our RCOE GeoPortal where you can find the data sets. I will show you an example. Once you access the URL, you come here to data sets. Let's say you want one for biodiversity, and just click that. And when you scroll down, you can be able to view a full set of the biodiversity data sets like this ones, and you can pretty much download whichever you want to use. So this is free to access even after the course, and feel free to just look through the data sets and see one that fits your use case. Also, we're also going to do story maps, which require a lot of images for storytelling. So this we will also access in our new RCOE Boesa rcmrd.org website, which we launched just the other day. And here we will upload other resources that you will use to create your story maps and whatever else is needed in the course. And then we also have an RCOE community. This is just a forum for all of the participants to discuss and say tips, tricks, questions, anything you want to discuss about the course. You should have also received an email inviting you to the forum. I'll show you the example of the email you should have received. Right here, it says, welcome to the RCOE community. And then you click here to confirm your email address or to register. So if you have already registered, you will just have to log in again, and you will be able to see over here in the tab, these tabs on the left-hand side. Up here, there's categories. So once you move into the categories, under trainings and workshops, there is a topic called transforming maps into stories and data into decisions. So you can read whatever is in the forum, but if you want to participate, comment, and add your own content, you will have to create an account. So once you've created an account, and you can be able to comment, ask questions, and the team will be able to reply to you, or other participants will also be able to reply to you and help you with whatever you need. I think that's it for the platforms that we're going to be using. What is pending is that we're going to send you an email inviting you to use our ArcGIS Online, and ArcGIS Pro will give you a license. So you'll follow the instructions in the email, which will be sent after the launch. And after following the instructions, you'll be able to have temporary licenses used throughout the course for anything that you need to do, whether it's the GeoHex challenge, the StoryMaps, and we'll be able to give you access to this. Thank you very much. And if you have any questions, please post them in the chat, and we'll be able to answer your questions. Thank you.
Please follow our pages as well as our YouTube channel. I believe most of the videos will be uploaded there, including for the live sessions. Another question. Looking forward to the challenge. Let me see. So I wanted to ask if there are any softwares that need to be downloaded in advance. I think this has been answered by Ida. You will receive an email to activate your ArcGIS Online platform account. What else? Someone is saying they can't hear me. I hope you can hear me now. Can you hear me? Okay. Can the license be extended for the training? Oh my God, you guys are so excited. We can't answer that right now, but of course, that is something that can be communicated within the course. After training, how can we download and keep our work? There's a question to our dean. After training, can we download and keep our work as the licenses will be removed?
Thank you for the question. I hope you can get me.
I hope you can get me. Thank you for the question. Yeah, I think
after the training, the license will remain live for some time. But within that timeline, if you want to keep some of the works that you have undertaken, you'll be free to save them somewhere so that you can access them in the future. So you can be able to download and save your works somewhere else so that you can use them in the near future. Thank you.
I hope that has answered your question. Let me see 2 more last questions. This one is a compliment. I'll read last. Yes, the training will be recorded, guys, and it will be posted on the online, the e-learning platform. Maybe I'm joining late. How do I register again? The course has been closed, unfortunately. However, the materials will be uploaded. Yes, the live sessions will be recorded. So another question to our dean. So someone is asking, the skills or the things that they learn using the ArcGIS Online, can they apply the same using the QGIS?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Hope I'm audible. Yeah, the skills, of course, it's just different platforms, but
QGIS is an open source platform. ArcGIS is a commercial software, but the skills are the same. You can deploy them in QGIS using open source tools. Thank you.
Thank you, Julius. And for the last one, someone is asking, can I be able to participate in the course without a laptop or a desktop? How will you generate the story map? How will you showcase what you've done? So maybe an advice to you, you can maybe log in and follow through the live recordings. And then when you're able to access a laptop or a desktop, the materials will be available and you can easily do the exercises and follow through where you didn't understand. Yes, I think in case you have any other questions, please feel free to send them our way. That is through our email, the RCOE at RCMRD. And for us to be able to easily identify the questions, please make sure the subject of the email, you write something about the training, something like the virtual training, RCOE training, something like that, so that you can easily see the email. So I believe that's it in terms of the presentations on our end. So mine is to thank you for being patient with us, for joining us. I know you had Friday is a work day for most people. Thank you so much for joining us, for interacting with us, for the questions, and even for the enthusiasm to do the training. I believe it is really a good thing to see people eager to learn and to be able to share what they are doing, as well as even understand maps. Mapping is something we can't escape away from. That is the science of where. Whether you're in conservation, whether you're a lawyer, whether you're a journalist, a researcher, all this information is necessary. And I believe within the course, you will get to see how this applies to your different various fields. So as we end, after this, we have a WhatsApp group that we've created for easier communication. So this link will be posted on the e-learning platform, that is on the general or the news, something like that. It will be available there. Also, the live sessions link will be recurrent. It will also be available on the e-learning platform. And like my colleagues mentioned, the e-learning platform will be made accessible, I think, after the course, after the launch, that is after we close. So be ready to receive such an email as well as the ArcGIS online link. But in case of anything, please make sure to email rcoe@rcmrt.org and everyone will be ready to answer your concerns. Yes. On behalf of RCMRD and the RCOE project and all my colleagues, we wish you a wonderful learning period and all the best, hoping to share the best stories, story maps, the best dashboards, then as we end the course. Thank you so much and have a good evening, good night, or good morning.